Welcome, everybody. Mike Martinez, Home Insurance Advocates.com. And today I got one of my partners with me, Mr. Robert Tami. Robert is from Somerset, New Jersey, and Robert has an extensive history in the real estate market and just what we do, right? He's been a home inspector for many years. And now he's a public adjuster and he's helping people when they have claims. And that's the key. Now, Robert, let me ask you a question because a lot of homeowners are not familiar with what's going on in the industry as far as the insurance companies and how they're trying to shortchange them or cut corners in the claims process. What would you say about that?
Well, that's a great question, Mike, and thank you for having me here. One of the things that you see advertised now is how the insurance companies want to tailor your insurance policy for you. And basically, what they're doing is they're cutting out things that you really do need. So, what they're doing is they're charging you more now for less coverage. Just like everything else, the way inflation is going, you're getting less product for more money. So when you do have a loss and you need to file a claim, the insurance adjuster is looking out for the insurance company's best interest, even though you've been paying your premium for years and you are under the impression that your home is covered. Well, it may be, but it's only partially covered. So that's what makes the public adjuster such a useful tool in your arsenal, is because we'll review your policy. We'll give you suggestions on how you can get better coverage so that if a claim does occur, you'll be properly covered and you get the maximum amount of money to make sure that your home is brought back to the pre-loss condition.
Yeah, that's a good point. And you know what I like to bring out to a lot of homeowners when I get the calls, because I get calls all day long, every day, is that a lot of them feel as if what do I need you for? I can do this on my own. But there's some intricacies in the policy, right? The policy specifically states that it is the homeowner's burden of proof. They got to prove their damages. And when we're proving damages, we're talking about material. What type of material is needed to bring you back? How much labor cost is going to be? How much labor time is going to be involved? And all this has to be put in a report form, right? In order for the person to be paid properly. And that's the difference that most homeowners have no idea. They would just be pulling their hairs out trying to figure it out. And you and I, as public adjusters, we've done this hundreds of times, thousands of times, and we know how to formulate these reports and give it to the insurance company where there is no doubt. If we have to go to court because they're fighting us, we have everything in line. Where a homeowner, right? What would you say about that?
Well, that's a great point, and I like to use the scenario. Back in the 70s, there was a show that came out on TV called This Old House, and it was the beginning of the do-it-yourselfer era. And the great thing is that people would watch that hour show or half-hour show and think that by the end of that, they could build an addition in 20 minutes or over the weekend. And that's how the term weekend warrior came about. Unfortunately, it's not something that the typical homeowner does all the time. Most homeowners, believe it or not, never even read their insurance policy. Mm. They get the insurance policy, file it away, and that's the end of that. They don't even understand, most of them, what's included in the insurance policy, how to read an insurance policy. That's why you put your trust in an expert that deals with this on a daily basis. You wouldn't go to a dentist to get a bone set.
Right.
Yeah. Why try to take the chance on doing it on your own and have it cost you more in the long run?
So let me ask you this before we go. We're going to make this short, but in your extensive experience, I mean, you've been involved in the real estate market as an investor, as a broker, as a flipper, right? You used to flip properties, you used to renovate properties, you own properties and were a landlord. So what's in your in and you've had experience as a home inspector, what's the biggest advantage that you see that homeowners have in using a public adjuster?
The biggest experience, a couple of things. A public adjuster is going to know exactly what to look for because a lot of times there's hidden damage. You may have a water overflow and you see that you've got some damage to the sheetrock, but you don't know what the extent of the damage is of the flooring, the subflooring, if there is any other damage to any of the insulation, if there's any mold that might be occurring. And the unfortunate thing is again, the insurance adjuster is going to come over there and they're going to give you the minimum amount to try to make the repair. So once you get a contractor and you start the process, if you're not prepared to come up with additional funds or have that case reopened, you're going to be cut short.
Right, right. Yeah, no, and you know what I see in the industry, because I've been as a public adjuster now for several years, and I'm licensed in several different states. What I see is that homeowners are afraid to go and approach their insurance company. Yet, if they wait too long, now they've disqualified themselves, or they put themselves in a position where they can be denied because the damage got bigger. And everybody's policy, as you know, states it is your job as a homeowner to end the damage. You can't have damage there and it continued to grow, to grow, to grow. So it was a $5,000 damage now, but because you waited 6 months, now it's a $50,000 damage, and the insurance company can legitimately, legally say, you know what? You had the opportunity to fix this when it was a small problem. Now it's a bigger problem. You let it grow. You let it become a bigger problem. Now we're denying the claim, right? So a lot of times people shoot themselves in the foot simply because they're afraid. There's a tremendous brainwashing that goes on, and I hate to use that word, right? Because some people find that to be offensive. But the fact of the matter is, the commercials tell us, hey, join my company and I will take care of you. And then at the same time, once you join the company, they say, we're going to slap you in the wrist if you use us, right? So people are afraid. And the fact of the matter is, 90% of the times when they use a public adjuster, they get a legitimate, fair deal where they wouldn't have that if they didn't do that, right? Anything you want to say in closing, man?
The only other thing that I'd like to add to that, though, is that a lot of them also are under that misconception that it's going to increase their insurance or they're going to get dropped. The reason why you have insurance is to protect your property and to protect your possessions. If you have an accident or you have a loss, that's what it's there for, is to cover that loss.
Right.
So you should not be afraid.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's basically it.
Yeah, good point. So, for those of you that are looking at this, Robert Tami, his contact information is here. All you have to do is pick up the phone, give him a call. Gentleman knows what he's talking about, and you know what? He doesn't do anything with pressure. As a matter of fact, you're gonna like the guy once you start, just getting into his mind and seeing how he can be of assistance to you. Because the bottom line is, the gentleman is Robert is an expert at what he does. Tons of experience at what he does, and he will be able to even tell you, hey, it doesn't make sense to use a public adjuster. Your claim is not big enough, or maybe you want to tackle this on your own. Or, you know what? I think I could be of service to you. Let me take care of this. So either way, you're gonna win, right? Because the bottom line is that first piece of information, that first advice is free. He's not charging you anything. As a matter of fact, we go through the entire process without charging you a dime. Everything comes out of what we actually get you on the settlement. So it's just like a lawsuit, right? We work like lawyers. So if you have an issue, this is the time. You pick up the phone, you call Robert, Tami, and say, hey, Robert, why don't we discuss what's going on? And I'm sure Robert would be more than happy to go through his experience and just help you along the way, right?
Absolutely. Except for one thing, we're honest.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's the difference between us and lawyers, right? Well, Robert, thank you for your time, man. I appreciate you taking your time to do this with me, and I'm sure tons of people are going to look at this and you know and get a glimpse at who Robert Tami is and how you could be of assistance to them. So, kudos to everybody that picks up the phone and gives you a call. Until next time, buddy, I'll be speaking to you soon, bud.
Okay, thank you very much. God bless you.